Terminator is easily one of the best movies ever made, and definitely one of the best from the 80s. It's legendary, and the impact it had on action and sci-fi was massive. It's dark, full of neon, and extremely stylized, which makes this movie still feel fresh, relevant, and original despite its age.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator.
The first time I saw the Terminator, it felt like I had stepped into something that wasn't supposed to be watched, like a warning broadcast from a future we were already losing to. It just drops you right into massive chaos, with humans getting obliterated by machines. There's no slow build up to that moment. It hits you instantly with the fact that, in the not so distant future, AI decided to take over and get rid of humanity. But what I love so much about this is how it's presented, because you can already see how stylized the movie is, since even such scenes of extreme destruction and pain are shot and presented with lots of dark neon colors, while a heavy synth beat plays in the background. This soundtrack pretty much defined a whole decade, since the 80s were full of synth sounds, and even today, you can see the impact Terminator had in the sounds of a lot of modern movies, and especially sci-fi. It's shot so damn well, and it feels like the movie is telling you that there's going to be some serious shit happening. To me, part of why this movie is so good and still scary, honestly, is the fact that it feels so real. I mean, Arnold, despite barely having any dialogue here, is literally behaving like an emotionless killing machine. He's showing zero emotions, pain, or any other kind of reaction. Everything he does is calculated and brutal. He almost steals every scene he's in, despite mostly staying silent. But that's exactly why he's so terrifying. All he wants to do is kill and destroy until his mission is done. He doesn't even care if he kills the wrong person or how many people have to be taken out in the process.
They wait on handguns, but the rifles you can take right now. You can't do that. Wrong.
One of my favorite scenes is the shootout in the police station, which not only has an amazing synth sound playing in the background, but is honestly mind-blowing in the sense of how daring it is. I mean, how many movies do you know or see where one of the main characters literally obliterates an entire police station?
I'll be back.
While the movie and the T-800 might not be scary in the same sense as something scary in a classic horror movie, there's just something about the Terminator that gives me chills. It's this emotionless, extremely ruthless destruction that to me feels so different from that of a psycho or a hitman. I mean, even the most evil human being will still experience some sort of emotions. Even if it's just some sick sadistic pleasure, it's still pleasure. But the T-800 feels nothing. He doesn't care about anything except the fact that he has to take out Sarah Connor. Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter who gets in the way. He'll do it one way or the other, which makes him feel like a massive force that is coming towards you, and no matter how much you push against it, it still keeps coming.
Come with me if you want to live.
Even when his fake skin has been peeled off and we see his true creepy skeleton, he still keeps coming. Even after his legs have been destroyed, he still keeps crawling. The Terminator isn't just dark because of the lighting or the plot, it's dark because it doesn't offer any hope or positive message. It tells you this future is coming and it's coming fast, and if you're not ready for it, too bad, the future doesn't care. And considering how AI slop is slowly taking over the internet, I honestly stopped viewing this movie as pure fantasy. I also think that this movie is extremely unique even to this day because it's not just a sci-fi horror movie but also synth horror. Similar to a lot of John Carpenter movies, which the Terminator honestly could have easily been. I mean, a lot of stuff here really does feel like something you'd see and hear in a Carpenter movie. To me, the Terminator will always be one of the best movies ever made, and anytime I hear its main theme, I know things are about to get wild. The Running Man has always been one of those perfect VHS movies, the kind of tape you'd rent from the video store just because the cover looked insane. Arnold in some futuristic gear, explosions in the background, and the promise of chaos. And the movie absolutely delivers on that promise. It's weird, loud, over the top, and that's exactly why I love it.
Playing for a prize. The prize is his life.
How about the life?
Running Man.
I think what makes it stick with me is how much personality it has. It's not just another Arnold action flick where he mows down hordes of faceless enemies. This one builds a whole world, a dystopian nightmare wrapped up like a game show.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering? If the answer is yes, Then you're ready for Captain Freedom's workout.
Yes, it's America's own Captain Freedom.
The idea that criminals are thrown into a televised deathmatch for entertainment feels wild, but it also makes sense in that 80s kind of way. It's the same decade that gave us MTV, wrestling turning into a full-blown spectacle, and talk shows pushing shock value. The Running Man feels like it was taking notes on all of that and cranking it up to 11.
Last season's winners.
No. Last season's losers.
How about the light?
Killian, I'll be back.
Only in a rerun.
Arnold is great here because he's not playing it straight. He knows how ridiculous the whole setup is and he leans into it with his iconic one-liners. In The Running Man, you've got him firing off cheesy comebacks while fighting a guy with a buzzsaw or another one in an electrified hockey rink.
But I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine! Ah! That's all right. Keep it down.
What happened to Baza?
He had to split.
It's wild, but it's also so much fun. The villains are larger than life, like Saturday morning cartoon bad guys who somehow wandered into an R-rated action movie. The look of the movie is burnt into my memory. Neon lights, cheesy TV graphics, costumes that feel half pro wrestling, half bargain bin sci-fi. It doesn't look polished, but that's what makes it so great. It's got that raw VHS texture, like something you'd watch late at night with friends, rewinding your favorite kills or ridiculous lines.
Hey, Lighthead! Hey, Christmas tree!
The soundtrack adds to it too, with heavy synth beats that keep the energy up and make the whole thing feel like one long music video from another dimension. In my opinion, The Running Man doesn't get enough credit. People talk about Predator or Terminator when they bring up Arnold's 80s run, but this movie is just as fun and just as rewatchable. It's over the top, loud, and it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Guess they want us to stay. Hey, Killian! Here is Sub-Zero! Now, Plane Zero!
And underneath all the cheese, there's actually some truth and real-life foreshadowing going on. The idea of a future where entertainment is built on violence and control doesn't feel that far off, and that's probably why the movie still works today.
For 50 years, we've told them what to eat, what to drink, what to wear. Americans love television. They wean their kids on it. They love sports, violence. So what do? We give them what they want.
Whenever I think of it, I think of that beat up VHS box sitting on a rental store shelf. You take it home expecting mindless action, and you end up with this wild mix of satire, sci-fi, and pure 80s success. To me, that's what makes The Running Man so legendary. It's messy, colorful, and it's pure fun from start to finish.
You bastard. Drop dead.
I don't do requests.
RoboCop is not only one of the best movies ever made, but it's also one of the most important influences on the cyberpunk genre, next to movies such as Blade Runner or Total Recall. Despite coming out 30 years ago, it still feels fresh for the most part, and the message and themes it tried to convey are still relevant, maybe even more than they have ever been. It's an amazing movie that not only manages to have a great story, but also great action, great heroes, and villains.
RoboCop, the future of law enforcement.
Alex Murphy is a very interesting character. In many ways, his character fits the typical action hero of the 80s. He has a sense of duty, is religious, and also a cowboy who likes the thrill of the action. We don't actually get that much character development for him, as Alex Murphy specifically. In fact, Alex Murphy as a human barely gets any character development, but what we do get is more than enough. Despite having so little screen time, he still manages to come across as likable and a decent person.
Stay out of trouble.
Women feel safe with him,
Let the woman go. You are under arrest.
and criminals fear him. The summer's new superhero is America's new super hit movie, RoboCop.
I really love that guy.
Rated R, now playing at a theater near you.
Which is extremely important considering his fate. When he gets turned into RoboCop after being brutally shot to pieces by gangsters, we feel for him even more because we got to see his previous self. We got to experience him as a human, so watching him as a machine for the rest of the movie is a feeling of pity, sadness, and even anger. Anger because you know exactly that something like this could happen in real life. Sure, we might not be on the technological level of fusing humans and machines the way it's shown in this movie, for now, but we'd certainly already reached a level of moral decay and corrupt crony business practices. People that would turn humans into cyborgs, not caring about the person itself and only caring about the money, fame, and social status it will give them, already exist. In fact, they exist in droves, licking their greedy paws just waiting for an opportunity or experiment like is shown in this movie.
Come a point where no job is needed. You can have a job if you want to have a job for sort of personal satisfaction, but the AI will be able to do everything. So
your company built the fucking thing. Now I gotta deal with it? I don't have time for this bullshit.
What I love about this movie is how it feels like a superhero origin story. It has all the elements you'd also see in Marvel or DC movies and comics, and I could easily see RoboCop being part of the Avengers or Justice League. Of course, then those stories would need to be much more violent and twisted, as RoboCop doesn't pull any punches at all. After a man gets torn apart by a failed machine, the company's first thoughts are not about the dead man, but rather about the fact that the showcase failed and how much money was lost. The entire movie is supposed to be satire, which is why a lot of moments feel like parody and why the humor sometimes seems out of place. That was intentional. The movie makes fun of typical 80s action movies that had over-the-top violence and action with macho characters whose entire line of thought was that more and bigger guns solve every problem.
You have the right to remain silent. You know what the trouble with you is? You're too violent.
This is one of the reasons why there is so much blood and gore in the movie. Anytime someone gets shot or blown up, it's heavily exaggerated and doesn't seem realistic at all, which is in line with a lot of cliches and tropes that were popular in the 80s.
This is where the law stops. And I start. The rule is a
I was actually surprised how dark and violent the movie was, in particular how gory. It's not exactly horror or slasher levels of gore, but it definitely is not afraid of showing extreme violence, such as people getting their limbs blown off or tortured. It's very dark, but you almost don't notice this darkness or violence until it happens because of the more light-hearted and comic tone that the movie also has. It balances the humor with the violence masterfully, but the inclusion of humor, or rather a certain light-hearted, almost parody-like element, makes the movie a lot more twisted than you think.
Nukem. Get them before they get you. Another quality home game from Butler Brothers.
I'd buy that for $1.
Because this humor isn't meant to give you a good time or make you laugh like action comedies or normal comedies usually intend. In the case of RoboCop, it's meant to be a satirical parody of real life, showing how dark modern society can be, where one moment you hear about acts of violence and the next you see an ad for sunscreen or World of Tanks being shoved down your throat.
Rambo. What most people call hell, he calls home.
Sunblock 5000. Protection for the new age.
In RoboCop, a character such as Alex Murphy can get shot over a dozen times by very heavy weapons, get his limbs blown apart and still live. People can lose their hands and barely even scream as if it's nothing but a scratch. The movie criticizes the idea that more and heavier guns will solve crime or lower it. The villains here are genuinely evil and sadistic. They get no sad backstory, there are no moments where the movie makes us feel anything but hate or contempt for them. Their only goals are to steal, kill, and cause as much chaos as they can. They don't deserve our sympathy, they don't deserve our mercy. They are scum and there is only one cure for them.
You probably don't think I'm a very nice guy, do you?
Buddy, I think you're slime.
If RoboCop had been made today, then these villains would have most likely gotten some sort of sad backstory to let us understand how and why they turned this evil. You can see this trend today where there are movies and TV shows dedicated specifically to villains such as Cruella or the Penguin. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing. The Penguin TV show in particular is really good and fun, and at the end of the day, it all depends on whether the writers and directors are competent or not.
Create a car to conquer the wind. A car that lets you slip off the commonplace and experience driving excitement as never before. The Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Sit here and learn firsthand how Firebird conquers the wind and the world. Pontiac, we build excitement.
But it's interesting to see how RoboCop does not bother to do any of that. It portrays villains and corrupt individuals as what they really are, and it also highlights how there will never be an actual cure or solution for and against these people. Evil and sadistic humans will always exist as long as humanity has not nuked itself. The idea that more guns or deadly machines will cut down crime is nonsense because there will always be outlaws and troublemakers. It's why RoboCop ultimately, even after defeating the villains of this story, doesn't actually solve anything. He didn't cut down on crime, he just removed a bunch of evil people whose spot was instantly taken by the next group of evil assholes. Having said that, looking past all of the parody and satire, the action in RoboCop is still amazing and a lot of fun to watch. In a way, Robo reminds me of a reverse Terminator, where instead of being specifically made to kill, he actually has to uphold the law and protect the innocent. As morally dark and wrong as his creation creation and existence is, he himself was programmed to be a hero and a good guy. He does kill when he has to, often in extremely bloody ways, but he also tries to avoid doing so if he can. For most of the movie, he's an unstoppable machine, not stopping even when shot upon, being mostly bulletproof.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me. Your move, creep.
Hey, how can I get muscles like you guys? Wow, Mr. Wonderful!
You can start by getting in shape with a Hulkamania workout set.
Great!
It's got everything you need. Head and wristband, a jump rope for warming up, a hand gripper for power, dumbbells for strength, an exercise poster, and even Hulk's own workout tape.
The Hulkamania workout set. You from LJN.
Are you in shape yet?
Yeah!
I will be honest, seeing Murphy be turned into RoboCop hit me really deep. Anytime he's hurt or slowly remembering his past life, I almost feel the same way as when you see a helpless animal or child being hurt or abused. It makes you feel more anger and pity for them than if you saw a grown human experience the same thing. And maybe I'm just screwed up myself, I don't deny that, but part of me felt more sympathy towards Robo because he felt like something else, neither human nor machine, almost like an alien entity, which was of course also the intent of this movie. It's deeply philosophical despite all of the action going on. It makes you wonder what defines a human and what defines a machine.
I can feel them. But I can't remember them.
With a touch of elegance. Hey, have you thought it all over? Why not make me an offer?
Since the movie's release, there have been a lot of discussions going on about whether RoboCop was still Alex Murphy or an entirely new being. Some people claim that Murphy died and that this machine simply has his brain and memories but doesn't know how to handle and deal with them. Personally, I disagree heavily with the idea that RoboCop is not Murphy. They are one and the same, changed of course, but still the same. If Robo has Murphy's brain and memories, then he is still that person. His brain has never been disconnected from him, nor did the OCP manage to erase all of his memories. Sure, they did remove almost all of his body parts and turned him into a machine, but it's still Murphy. He is a changed person, and you could make the argument that he's therefore someone new, and that would be true. But it's still Murphy fundamentally. It's still his brain and his memories.
More satisfaction with you, think we're seen. More satisfaction with you.
It's amazing to me how deep this movie is, despite at first glance seeming like just another action movie. A lot of this is due to the great soundtrack. The main theme here is iconic, but it also sounds heroic and sad at the same time. It fits perfectly to the story and is one of those themes that gets stuck in your head for a while. This is coupled with the great performances from all the actors, but especially from Peter Weller playing RoboCop. The other actors do a fantastic job, the villains are fun and memorable, but Robo is the main star of the show. And to me, it's simply mind-blowing how Weller manages to convey a large range of emotions, despite his character mostly talking in a very dry and emotionless tone.
Introduces the first turbocharged V8 of the 80s.
Available only in Trans Am or Formula Firebird. With power swelling out of the hood and telling the world where it's at. A 4.9-liter message of appreciation to true believers. The way Pontiac knows how to deliver it. The world's only turbocharged V8 available in a production car. Now that's more Pontiac excitement for the great ones.